Okay.
We have tissues with you?
No.
Breathe. You're good.
Yeah, I got it. Just...
Cleveland! This is for you!
By a show of hands, how many people know what this quote is? Okay, for you. It's for those of you who don't know where this quote is from, this is from LeBron James, who I will be informing you about today. I'm credible to talk to you about LeBron James because I've been watching the NBA and researching it for multiple years. You should listen to me because you will be smarter by the end of this because you will know about LeBron James and his basketball career. Today, I'm going to tell you about his time in Miami, his return to Cleveland, and his time right now in LA. Now that I've told you what I'm going to inform you about, let's get started with his time in Miami. Okay. When he joined the Miami, it was in 2010, where there was a famous ESPN segment called The Decision, where he decided to join Miami. And this was supposed to be a fundraiser for charities, and it was supposed to be a great thing. But once he made his decision to join Miami, he was castrated from the city of Cleveland and sports fans alike. And in the following season, when he teamed up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in the finals, he'd have a meltdown, unlike anything any athlete has ever gone through. In the final games, Skip Bayless had this to say, who has been journaling for the NBA since the 70s and is a co-host of Undisputed on Fox. NBA Finals, what happened? Games 4, 5, 6. We saw the biggest superstar meltdown in not just NBA history, but sports history, as the chosen one became the frozen one. This was terrible for any player's career, but this would motivate him, and Dwayne Wade would teach him how to lead and how to win. In the following 2 seasons, they'd win 2 rings against the young Oklahoma City Thunder, led by young Kevin Durant, and the San Antonio Spurs with Tim Duncan and that dynasty. His final season in Miami, he was beaten by the Spurs in the finals in dramatic fashion, losing in 5 games, and realizing that he couldn't win with this roster that was aging, he decided to go to Cleveland. Return to Cleveland. Now that I've told you what happened in Miami, I'm going to tell you about his time in Cleveland. When he returned to Cleveland, they formed a big 3 with Kyrie Irving, who was homegrown and already there. They traded for superstar Kevin Love from the Minnesota Timberwolves, forming a great big 3. In the 2015 season, they make it to the finals, but Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving were both hurt during this playoff run, and they lose in 6 games to the Golden State Warriors. The following season, they come back healthy, coming back to the same finals against the same Warriors team, going down 3-1, but coming back in all-time fashion. In this finals run, LeBron became the first player to lead both teams in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. This was never done in the finals before, and this was a statistic I got from Basketball Reference, which is the most known basketball database. After they won the championship in 2016, the same Kevin Durant from the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2012 would join the Golden State Warriors, making one of the greatest teams of all time. In 2017, the Cavs would go back to the finals, but were soundly beaten by the Golden State Warriors due to their talent. In 2018, Kyrie Irving would demand a trade, and LeBron was stuck on a team with washed-up veterans like an old Derrick Rose, an old Dwayne Wade. The roster ended up getting imploded during the season, and LeBron somehow dragged this terrible team to the finals, but were swept by the Golden State Warriors and Kevin Durant again. After this, LeBron decided he couldn't win with those Cats and decided to go to LA. This concludes his return to Cleveland and now his current time in LA, also known as Los Angeles. The first year in LA was awkward. LeBron was with a bunch of young players like Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Kyle Kuzma. A bunch of young 2-year players, and LeBron, who is 34 at this point. But after this, LeBron would suffer an injury during this season, and they would miss the playoffs. In this offseason, they would trade for Pelicans superstar Anthony Davis, forming the best duo in the league, giving up Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and almost all of their draft capital. This season, during the next season, they would be the 1 seed halfway through the season, but it would be put on hold due to the coronavirus quarantine. But the season would resume eventually in a bubble in Orlando, where they would make it to the finals against the Miami Heat and win. And LeBron James, after winning this championship, became the first player in NBA history to win the Finals MVP for 3 different teams. This was put out by an article by the NBA itself. After this season, the Lakers would suffer injuries to Anthony Davis, LeBron James the next season. In 2021, they were soundly beaten by the Phoenix Suns and this guy, Devin Booker, in the 2021 playoffs. And in 2022, they would trade for Russell Westbrook, which was a controversial move at the time. Not much cohesion within that roster, and they would miss the playoffs that next year due to injuries and also Russell Westbrook. But that next year, now Westbrook has just been traded, and LeBron had just broke the scoring record, which is, broke the scoring record, which is the all-time scoring record for regular season points, over 38,000 points. This concludes his time in LA. Now that I've told you this, I'm going to conclude with a recap. So far, I've told you about his time in Miami, his return to Cleveland, and his time so far in LA. Now, he has done many things. He has done records that I've told you about that no other player's done, like 3 finals MVPs for 3 different teams, leading every team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks in the finals. This is incredible stuff that no player has ever done before. But the scary thought is that he isn't done playing. He's almost 40 years old and still playing as if he's 21. There is much more time for him to stack on these accolades, like maybe reaching 40,000 points, another finals MVP. And that right there is a scary thought.